Yes, Engineer Islam, we can
Yes.
see your screen.
Okay. Thank you for joining us at our webinar today regarding reservoir simulation fundamentals. In this session, we'll go to the fundamental of the reservoir simulation for surveillance. Our quick agenda for our webinar today, we'll start with surveillance importance, what is surveillance, and how its impact on the depletion plan and the business value, and what is the key message considerations for the surveillance plan. Also, we'll go through surveillance process, and then we'll go through surveillance multi-level approach in order to diagnose your data. And by the end, we'll go through value of information to justify your surveillance plan. Then we'll go to Q&A. Before I start, I would like to mention reservoir engineering function. Reservoir engineering mainly is specified in two areas: reservoir simulation, reservoir management, and reservoir simulation, and reservoir surveillance, reservoir management. Surveillance engineer typically use analytical and empirical calculation in order to perform his work using the decline curve analysis, material balance, well test analysis, and also the reservoir surveillance diagnosis using the production data like well test case hole logging and open hole logging to control the production and the injection, then diagnose the problem. Also, we're monitoring the existing field and find the optimal way to optimize the production and the injection rate with the aid of commercial software like OFM, DSS, Prosper, PipeSim, Spotfire, Kappa, and so on. Also, the second aspect of the reservoir engineering in the reservoir simulation, you conduct reservoir simulation studies to determine the optimal development plan for the fields or gas, for any fields like gas reservoir, condensate, and so on. And you're using some commercial software like Betrel RE, Nexus VIP, CMG, and Eclipse. Also, graphic model. Then we'll go to the rock model or fishes model, and then populate the property modeling within the grids, and then starting history match, then prediction to find the optimal way to develop the reservoir. So what is the surveillance? Surveillance mean for dictionary, we are close monitoring for something under suspicion. Like in the reservoir, you are managing the hydrocarbon acid in continuous process, close monitoring for the wellhead parameter, for the downhole data to improve the reservoir performance. This is meant by surveillance. So with the link between value and surveillance, so all the time we are in a pressure on assist for efficiency improving during the project. As you see in this picture here, project asset life cycle, which is not to scale, and in terms of the discounted cash flow. Through this process, we have challenging during asset life. At the start, we main key driver for the starting exploration phase. Our key driving is to lowering the finding cost. We need to lower the finding cost to find the oil in this area. After that, we drilling exploratory well and found oil, and we need to lowering the capital cost. In this area and in the early development phase, our focusing in reducing the capital cost and maximize the recovery. This impact the data acquisition and the time and the implementation for the project. With moving forward here, and we start to develop the reservoir, we are focusing on reducing the operational efficiency, reducing the running in the hole, and maximizing the production, and improving the operational efficiency, reducing the downtime, and moving the B3 reserves and B2 to proven category, probable or possible reserve to be proven category. At the end of the life cycle of the reservoir, our issue is to the system integrity. You found some pipeline, found corrosion, and we have some issue in integrity in the well. So our focusing in this region, we are focusing on abandonment cost. We need to reduce the abandonment cost for this region. Without the surveillance data, we are not able to lowering capital cost. We are not able to lowering the operation and intervention cost. We are not able to increasing all maximize the recovery from your fields. So surveillance objective, as you said, each asset has different overall surveillance objective. The surveillance objective is derived by the strategic alignment of business driver. This lead to set the surveillance objectives. So surveillance objective shows the routine data or measurable routine measurement, and sample are required to manage the field. Show the range of the technique for displaying your data. Demonstrate the number of examples how to analyze the data and integrate this data with other surveillance to increase our understanding for your reservoir. So for this schematic showing the role of the surveillance in asset management, we start here from here. Our asset team like petrophysics, G&G stuff, and integrity teams sit together and set the surveillance or the performance expectation based on the current state of knowledge and set the uncertainty matrix within the appropriate parameters. So we will monitoring the parameter, like we'll hit data and water cut, pressure data, and fluid movement. After that, we identify the opportunity. Identifying the opportunity here, we measuring the gap between our understanding and the modeling performance expectation. Then after the opportunity is seized, we'll go to the recommendation to modify the performance expectation and then implementation of the opportunity. Our key driver here is the value. This is a closed loop interface between performance expectation and opportunity creation. Also, if you need a surveillance or if you ask for surveillance, the surveillance should be timely, should be sufficient accurate. If the surveillance is not sufficient accurate, so why we asking for the surveillance? Should be hitting the target because we invest a big dollars. So we need enable progression for the surveillance. As we see here from this graph, this is the relations between value and active surveillance. Surveillance mean active. So what is difference between passive data or active data? Significant increase in effort here lead to intelligent data. Intelligent data, which mean we are able to predict the future of the parameter, which is mean is intelligent. So if you go to your manager and ask you, we need to run ability for this well. So why just run ability to understand how zone is contribute and so on. So this is passive data. So we need the ability for action because we invest the dollars, big dollars, and we need to be active. Surveillance mean we have intelligent data. If you ask for passive data, this is will impact on the business. Okay. So what is the surveillance process for your fields? Surveillance process, plan, do, check, act. This is the loop cycles for the surveillance. We start for planning here, which planning according to your budget, and then we do collect the data and measure and analyze your data and learn and integrate this data with your asset team. As a start, we start with collecting the data, routine surveillance data like rate, pressure, water cut, saturation profile, productivity, and there are some non-routine surveillance data and other stuff of this data need to address some uncertainty or issue in your field in order to maximize the recovery, and the surveillance should be updated annually, guided by annual surveillance look back. After we starting to perform the data or do the surveillance data, we analyze the data, take the acquired surveillance data and perform multi-level analysis to help to understand how the reservoir is performing. Is the reservoir performing in healthy way or not? And by then we will detect the underperforming well and the recommendation in order to maximize the production from field. Also, we'll develop appropriate standard diagnostic plot, as we'll see in the next slide, which are updated in regular basis in terms of field level, reservoir level, and well level. By the end of the analysis data, you hold a formal meeting with your stakeholder. Facility will work and drilling and operation and detail what we are performing and what we need to enhance the performance of the surveillance. After that, we optimize and learn from the data in order to perform the work plan for your fields. So we'll start by surveillance planning. Surveillance planning process. We have 4 processes for the surveillance planning. Asset management planning, to managing the asset in the enterprise, and then uncertainty matrix generation, then reservoir surveillance plan, perform the reservoir surveillance plan, and then developing the surveillance plan. So we'll start by planning here. Planning, which is mean strategic intent plus operation objectives. What is This chart show the how to link the asset management or asset strategic intent to value proposition. This is the workflow. As a start, asset management or asset strategic intent, just the enterprise strategic intent translated to individual asset in the enterprise or in your company. And just for example, we need to be the world-class asset performance in the Middle East and the low cost asset performance. This is the intent of the strategic intent. The strategic intent here is the goal, is the tune for the goal, is the tune for the goal here. We are targeting our goals for this based on the concession end or based on the 3 to 5 business plan window, and evaluate fluid management. The driver's goal are based on the concession end or business window. We need to exploit the remaining reserves for the primary and start the secondary recovery for this field, drilling 4 or 5, 6 wells, and so on. This is the goals for the company. The goals can be translated into objective operation. So our objective operation debottleneck some debottlenecking in the system, reducing the flow cycling. If found some will producing high gas, high water, so we need to reduce the flow cycling, improve or arresting the pressure decline. If we found some area suffering from the pressure decline, so we need to arrest the pressure decline in this area by starting injector to support the reservoir pressure, and improve the operation efficiency by reducing the downtime for your wells. After that, we'll go our choice to meet the objective. Are we meet the objective or not? If we are not in the objective, we need another alternative. How to maximize the production by another alternative. Like if we found some well producing high water cut, and which is mean we have higher support from the injector, and we need to control the injection, just to go to the injector and reduce the injection rate for this well, and other phenomena like this, and increase the flow and handle capacity, selective curtailment, and gas or water source like this operation. This is detailed reservoir planning to study alternative option. After we have a detailed reservoir planning, we have detailed area reservoir air distribution map, run injection or BLT or BLSS for the injector, BLT for the producer, identify what is the safe zone, and using the best technique to water shut off or gas. This is the work process. After defining the work process, we have value proposition here, and by the end, what is the data is required, how should be collected, and how it will be combined with other piece of data to convert this information to be intelligent, and by then we'll take action. This is the process for generation opportunity and the process from top to down approach. This is the second one, which is uncertainty metrics here. Each asset is trying to maximize the value and spend money on its critical need. So what is the critical need for the company? Critical need like safety, critical need operational efficiency, enhance the operation efficiency for the field, increasing the reserves for increasing the reserves for your field. This is the critical need. We are not run a big dollar for safety and operation efficiency and reservoir and the reserves and increasing the reserve for your reservoirs. So as we see here from this matrix or risk resolution matrix, as you see in the y-axis, this is the resolution potential, which is means the parameter or the opportunity in terms of rate, in terms of reserves, in terms of net present value, and this in terms in the y-axis we have risk from low, mid, high risk. For as you see in the corner here, from the high, which we have higher potential here, and low risk. In this area, red area, we have higher potential and high risk, higher rate and higher risk. So we need some surveillance to move this opportunity from red here to here, low. So this is the resolution matrix is very important, and put all the opportunities in terms of rate or NNB in this resolution matrix here. And we'll start by generating uncertainty management, and then we'll create the surveillance plan. How to create the surveillance plan is created based on the uncertainty matrix, based on the risk and based on the potential. And if we have a risk, we need to do risk assess by run a surveillance. So surveillance is very, very vital from exploration phase till the abandonment phase. And then we develop technology plan or the alternative, and then we'll execute the plan or the opportunity and evaluate. And we have a way to improve the characterization of this opportunity. We will improve the characterization of this opportunity, and then forecast and design for the new opportunity. This is how to generate the opportunity or how to prepare the surveillance plan. Surveillance plan is based on uncertainty matrix and based on strategic intent for your enterprise. If there were no uncertainty, there would be no need for the surveillance, for opportunity generation or risk matrix. So surveillance is very, very vital. This is the surveillance plan as we for your field. My field is suffering from depletion, suffering from well integrity issues. We need suffering from well pressure decline and the gas cap below down. So in this matrix here, we have a risks. So identify all risks that you face in your reservoir or your fields, and then this is a surveillance tool. This is some graph showing the risks here and the surveillance tool, and this legend here essential data to help to exercise improve control on the issue, or data not required to influence the control, or data has some impact on the control. Like for example, PLT, if we have gas cap below down here, the PLT has no control on the gas cap below down. But for the well decline, is very this has some impact on the control. But for well integrity, have impact on the control, and liquid loading and depletion have impact on control. And this red flag will not influence in our control. This is the value of the data. Okay. So I bought some key message here for the surveillance plan and how to generate it. The first one was identify all risks and issue and opportunity over the life of the field of the plan as they are related to the depletion plan. Depletion plan has many opportunity or the hopper has many opportunities. So put all this opportunity on this uncertainty matrix plan, and we found the high potential and high risk. We need to de-risk this because it have high potential and performance that will impact on your company and increasing the production from the company. Using strategy and the plan template for the surveillance until cessation of production. Perform or complete strategy plan with different discipline like petroleum engineers and reservoir engineers and integrity and G&G staff and the petrophysical, not in isolation. So and the facility all will put his individual surveillance in order to maximize the production. This under the umbrella of the strategic intent. The plan should be budget and agreed with the management and reviewed externally for the challenge. So the plan should be budget. So if you have not a budget, so go to the management and ask, we have kind of the surveillance and we need more budget because this is will impact on the company and increasing the production from, like for example, from 300 to 600 or 10,000 barrel oil per day. This is the plan should be budget and within the budget. Capture the result as they happen and provide feedback across the asset at the end of the year. So this is the feedback. We have achieved around 50% from the PLT, achieved 60% from the pressure data, achieve around 30% from the BBU, and so on. So we'll capture the result and what we achieved in the year, achieved within the surveillance plan and how it's impacting the company. Complete plan, do check, measure, learn cycle, and review yearly plan, quarterly, life of the field plan annually, and report key metric quarterly. So business value key message, data acquisition in which the value is not clearly defined is a risk of the delivery. If not clearly defined, there is a risk for the delivery, and the risk and uncertainty which is not managed via the well plan and executable surveillance program will be inevitably lead to loss of reputation and the value capture result as they happen and provide the feedback across the asset, not only value added. So you stop collection data when the data it can't be used in the decision making process. So stop collecting data. Cost exceed benefit. If the cost exceed benefit, so why we need this data? Because we will spend higher cost than benefit. Opportunity less cost exceeds divestment or farm out or other option. Dealing with uncertainty via mitigation intervention is less expensive. So stop collecting data within those items. Surveillance and the depletion plan. Depletion plan is according to the surveillance, and we need a surveillance in order to perform this depletion plan and ensure that the depletion plan is performed in proper way. Surveillance required are detailed in surveillance plan, which in service of acid depletion plan, and the link to subsurface risk matrix, as we said in the previous slide. Surveillance target for product category, integrity, reservoir performance, well performance, facility pipeline performance. Surveillance must be supported by the value of information case, as we will show in the next slides. So surveillance is very, very important. Why? Because you are managing the risk via surveillance, meeting regularity requirement, identify, develop well integrity issue. If we have integrity and issue in our well, so identify and develop well integrity issue. Optimize daily production, reduce uncertainty, drive the mental mode of the reservoir or better under reservoir understanding, and fill our hopper with well work new well with robust project, because we have robust well work and the robust project for your fields. So we'll go to the surveillance multi-level approach. We have multi-level approach in order to diagnose the data that we have. We have data and we need to analyze this data. How to analyze this data? We have many approaches to analyze the data, starting from field level up to well level field, with that reservoir zone, areal region, pattern segment. Well, this is increasing the depth of the review. And also we go from top to down and from bottom to up. We are reconciling from lower level to higher level to give better understanding for the field. So we have some surveillance we will perform on field level, or some diagnostic plot or template, or we have some surveillance we will perform in reservoir, in aerial, in pattern, and so on. For like example, for field, we have production cumulative and rate. We have template for the production cumulative and rates for the all fields that you have. Production data, ratio data, fluid rate, and the number of active well, which plotted in the decline curve analysis. History, quality control, reserve tracking or reserve mapping to define where the area is showing higher reserves and the area showing lower reserves, where we want to spend your money. Equivalent drainage radius calculation, key performance indicator for the field. What is the key metric for our field to ensure the field is working in healthy way? Before and after before comparison, heterogeneity index to determine the underperforming well and or the well required for further investigation. Reservoir area performance. This is for the fields. For the oil field or field working under water injection, we have primary recovery drive identification and voidage replacement ratio, which is very important for the water injection. For well level, we have productivity index maps for well level for all the well in your fields. Poor perforation well, and you need to maximize the perforation, or we have a scan for this well. Formation damage index, water diagnostic plot, in for injection well, Hull plot or Jordan plot. Which is very, very important in order to diagnose the data. For example, we'll go through after, before, compare, and what is ABC plot. ABC plot is very important, and we will perform it in field level, and we will use the production data as we see in x-axis. Here we have the last Q water divided by the previous Q water. You can use the last Q water by 6 months or 1 year, but it's referred to use from 6 months. And this is y-axis showing the last Q oil divided by the previous Q oil. And this, we have 5 regions here in order to identify how the field is performing. This is using a scatter chart in the OFM, and it's very easy, and we can perform it in DSS also on Spotfire. So we'll discuss what is ABC. We have 5 regions here. For region 1 here, which is mean we have all the well on sites from the previous to from the last to the previous, and which is mean the well is working in proper way and the reservoir is working in healthy way. For region number 2, which is mean we have increasing in the water, increasing in the oil, which is mean we have increasing in the total liquid here, which is likely to be a water injection response or performing some some jobs in order to enhance the production from the well. For now, well number 3, we have some issue for those well because we're showing decreasing in the water and decreasing in the oil, which is mean we have a well problem here. So put this well aside and investigate what is the reasons why this well is underperforming, and we need to understand this. By the end of the surveillance, we will go to perform our work for this well. And also for region, which is mean we have increasing in the water, and which is leading to decreasing the oil, which is mean we have water injection breakthrough. We have increasing in the water cut. Could be due to channeling in the casing, or we have a safe zone, or so on. For region number 5, which is unpopulated most of the time, but maybe related to cleaning out. When some well water cut decrease with time after we perform over for the well, we found the well starting with the higher water cut, and then the water cut will decrease with time, which is mean the well is cleaning itself. So this is a template for surveillance ABC plot, and will perform in a field level, and it's very easy to conduct in a software like OFM. This is the last topic we will go through it, the value of information. So we invest a big dollar, and a big dollar should be justified why the benefit from this investment. So the value for the surveillance or the value for the job is function of two things, function of uncertainty and the function of decision. Value information, this help you to standard decision analysis process, and to compare the potential value of new piece of information with the cost of acquiring it. So when you have some big uncertainties or have uncertainties, we define the problem to compartment part, and we can see how the value may be created or destroyed. So when value information evaluation undertake, we ask for the ad hoc surveillance or for non-routine surveillance. For routine surveillance, value information is not required because this is a routine data, and pressure data, like water cut, like bottom hole following pressure, and like any stuff of the routine data. But for ad hoc surveillance or non-routine data, we invest the money and the big money, and so we justify what is the value of running the piece of information or running the tool in the well. So basic steps in conducting a value information: evaluate the current state. What is the current state now? No new information or data. And then we'll conduct as a team and the potential range of uncertainty associated with a specific or event, or for like we went to drill a well, and we found we have some risk of sweeping, some risk of pressure decline, some risk of sand production. So we will sit as a team and what is the probability of each branch of this, and then we conduct the analysis to run together with as a team, and we run different sensitivity to show the impact of this analysis on the outcome. So the role of the information here, value of information of the project, which is mean project value with information and with minus project value without new information here. So getting information must give the potential to change the future decision, to avoid negative outcome or choosing different option here. As you see here from this chart, this is the cost of the data A. Like for example, we need to run PLT. The cost of the PLT is around $3,000, and developing without the data and developing with the data. So the value of information is worthwhile when the cost of the data minus develop with the data higher than develop without the data. So we have a positive number here. So we need to, so let's go to support, to let's go to perform the job here, because the job will perform higher net present value if we are not performing anything. This is the cost of the data or the value of information. And when you are performing the value of information and you are set with your management, so we have three ongoing process here. The first one is frame and identify the opportunity here, and the uncertainty matrix and the metric and decision making. Then we'll assess using the uncertainty matrix, and then you will management and implement the choosing data collection here, starting here from say the context, and then identify the uncertainty with your fields, and then prioritize our uncertainties, and then we'll go to assess the value by appropriate model or calibration using the uncertainty matrix here, and then we will managing by evaluating another alternative option and communicating with other discipline and your management, and then we'll go to perform a work plan for the company. This is the work plan. We have 6 work plan, 3 annual delivery, 3 bumping jobs, 3 work over, or some stuff from this. We have a technical work plan. We will technical data support your work plan. This is the decision analysis and the characterization of the decision. The future value here was a function of your decision and function of your uncertainty here. We are separating decision from uncertainty. Decision is controllable. This is in our hand, but uncertainty is not controllable. We know we have a value, but we don't know how the value is. And then we figure and they set different decision here, and then we assess uncertainty by range. By end, we'll go to the value of information. This is example here for from the value of information, value from PLT. This is what is the source of value. We need the ability for reservoir management, for will work opportunity, for future opportunity, for work condition. As a start, we risk total is around $70 million at 400 US dollar per barrel. Include all costs like PLT, intervention, new well, plus probability and losses when we shut in the well, and the unrisked incremental reserves around 7 million stock. So we need a run for PLT, runnability for the well. So why? Because we have management opportunity here. When we run ability for this well, the well will increasing our understanding as the water cut increase for this well. So we need to reduce the injection from this well. This is for injection and production conformance. This understanding may lead to change how to choose to operate the injection, how how to achieve the optimum VRR, and how to trade off between the aquifer influx or the injection rate. If we are performing this, if we are decreasing the injection rate, if we are understanding the injection conformance, this is lead to reserve around 0.55. This is how it's a probability. This is based on your understanding and your technical stuff. When we set together, and this is probability around 40%, or go to some technical metrics assessment, this is around 40%. This is risk values around $4.5. This is one approach. Another source of value is well work opportunity. When we have options for well work for this well, we are option to well by using breaker or mill to increase productivities around 10 probability. Option 2 is stimulate well with water shut off. Option 3 intervention in this well to reset strata packers between the unwanted water. This is reserves around this by 2.3 million, 3 million, and the probability is around 16%. By then, risked probability value is around 15.9. By multiply 69.4 by 60%, this is the risk value for this well. Okay. Also, source of value for future opportunity. We have future opportunity to track from this well to another location here. We have uncertainty in this well for its performance. This is, for example, here. And if we drill another well, this lead to increase the 2 million stoib here, and reducing the water production will yield another 2.2 million stoib of reserve associated with this. Is the reserves around 4.1. This is from this branch, and the probability is around 66%, and the risk value is around 46.4. So this is a big. This is will go to this branch, and this is will add around the 4.1. So if you run ability for this well, this is has higher probability around 65%, and we're leading to increase the reserves by around 4.1. This is the way to support your decision and support your analysis here. For well conditions, this is very old well, and this well is drilled from 20,000, and if we run abilities whole understanding is the integrity issue, this is the value of work intervention work, and this probability around 4% because we have expected issue for the well condition because we increasing water, so could be the casing is corroded and some problem in this well. This is leading to risk value around 2.2 million and the probability around 4 probability. So the highest probability branch is around 66, and this is leading to reserve 4.1. So go ahead and run a PLT because we have a value. Okay, this is the way to analyze the PLT. Thank you very much, and this is very quick webinar for the how to prepare a surveillance plan and what is the value information and what is the risk matrix. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Islam, for this session. So we'll take some questions, but before you can take a small break while the people are filling the feedback form that I sent in the chat. Please everyone make sure to fill this form so we can always fulfill your needs. And if anyone have any question, please share it in the chat now and I can read it for Engineer Islam to answer your questions.
No question?
We have a question. If you can briefly mention the up-to-date gas shut-off methods.
Up-to-date what?
Gas shut-off, briefly the up-to-date gas shut-off methods.
Briefly, the up-to-date gas shut-off method of possible. I found there is some method like we run the only way to subtract from the well and run straddle backer to isolate the gas off. And if we have gas casting from up to down, the only way is to run straddle backer, but in some cases will not succeed. This is that I know. And I don't know any technique to gas shut off and not successfully. The only way successful that I show is to run a straddle and isolate the unwanted gas between two straddle. This is the only way.
Okay, we have a question. If you can please illustrate more about the ABC plot.
ABC plot, this plot we run in the field level. And when you have, as you know, the data flow from your fields here, we have production data like pressure, water cut, and by the end of the year, we'll test the data and make this data is okay for our allocation. And by then, we need to compare this month by the previous month. If we compare this month by previous month and found we have increasing in the liquid production. So why we have increasing in the liquid production for this well? Because we have increasing in the reservoir pressure. This is the way. And if we found that the well is producing a high water cut and with less oil, which means this is well we're producing high water cut, so we need to run a PLT to investigate what the reason behind this. This is the way. ABC plot is to compare and diagnose the problem using the dynamic data, diagnose your problem and investigate how to solve this problem. And there are many problems, and I will set up another session to go to the most common problem in your reservoir.
Okay, thank you. We have a question about how can you manage work plan annually?
Manage work plan according to uncertainty matrix, because if we in this year we have a surveillance plan. Surveillance plan will should be fit with your work, and you should fit with the depletion plan and should fit with the business year window, like 3 years or 5 years. And this is after we achieve the surveillance plan, by the end we'll go to have higher increasing in the production rate from 2000 like to 4000. This is because we run 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the way. The way you manage the surveillance plan is uncertainty matrix and identify the risks and the potential. If we have higher potential here and have higher risk, so we need a surveillance to de-risk this value. This is the approach.
Okay. Is ABC based on WT data only or allocated data? Can also be used.
What is based on allocated or what?
Is ABC based on WT data only or allocated data can also be used?
What is WT? This
Can
is
you
based
please,
on
Osama, illustrate what is
based
WT?
on
Please? Well,
what
test.
is- well test data, yes. It's based on the production data. It's not well test. If you wanted to conduct on well test, it's okay, but unfortunately, you don't have test data for all the well in your months. So it's based on the BD data or CD data, and using the average 6 months data. Like we are in January now, from if you are performing now, so using the average 6 months, back, and this is the average production data, which is very representative to the well. Not well test because if you have a well test for all the well in your field monthly, go ahead and perform it.
Okay, we'll take the last question. If some data is technically required, but economic benefits are not associated with this, what will be our decision about this?
Economic data. Okay. If that's not economic, we will not run it because this is not economic. So we have a hopper here and we have a potential values. When the oil price will increase, we will go ahead and perform these opportunities. But by the end, we are in the commercial and we invest money and we need the money. So this is this is what our sentence. We invest a big dollar and by then we need a higher NBV. If this is not economic, or not it. So or keep for when the oil price will increase and we run it.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Islam, and thank you everyone for your amazing questions.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we will see you in our next sessions. Thank you, Engineer Islam.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.